All right, let's talk all things Gottman Method. So, what is the Gottman Method? The Gottman Method is a type of couples counseling that therapists like myself and my colleague Dion are trained in to provide couples therapy. The Gottman Method is specifically created from John and Julie Gottman, who are couples therapists and researchers. And they've been studying couples for over 40 years in what they call their love lab, which is a little condo that they have on Lake Washington in Seattle, Washington. I think that's where it's at. I should know since I live here, but I'm not 100% certain. But this little love lab, they have brought couples in for the last 40 plus years, and they have studied what makes a relationship last long term with what they call the master relationships, and what leads to a relationship ending before that end of life, which is what they call the disaster relationships. And from their research, they have created what they call the Sound Relationship House. The Sound Relationship House is literally an image of a house. I'll put it here. As you can see in that house, there are levels of these foundations or these 7 principles of what makes a marriage work. We have the foundation of friendship, which is what they call their love maps. A strong foundation. It starts with communication building. It moves to, I should know this. I just looked at it. Sharing fondness and admiration. Sharing our appreciation, our gratitude, seeing the good that our partner adds to our life. It moves into the positive perspective, seeing that your partner has good intentions, even if it doesn't always impact you that way. This is our emotional bank account. We want a positive deposit, an abundance of deposits in that emotional bank account that keep us connected, or we swing to that other side of negative override. I skipped one. There's turning towards instead of away. This means turning towards your partner through all things, the good, the bad, the ugly, turning towards them to talk, to connect, making eye contact, turning towards them. Then we got a big section of the house called the conflict management section. It's thick because conflict is thick. There's a lot of layers to conflict, from perpetual conflicts or gridlock conflicts to solvable conflicts. There's understanding our 4 horsemen of the apocalypse: defensiveness, contempt, criticism, stonewalling. There's the art of compromise exercise that you do in that section. Then we move into making life dreams come true. This is how I always like to describe it, is that you and your partner each have your individual dreams and goals, and we want them to be moving parallel with the relational dreams and goals. They don't have to be the same, but we want to make sure they're connecting. You're coming together. You're building a legacy, a vision and a future and a mission for your relationship. And then we have creating shared meaning, which are these small things often, these daily rituals, rhythms, habits that we have that add into our relationship. And then we have the walls of trust and commitment, which all play into every level of the house. So that's a very brief overview of the Sound Relationship House model. And the Gottman Method works with couples through these different levels of the house with a ton of communication frameworks, conflict management frameworks, ways to build intimacy long term. And really the work is to keep circling back to each of these levels for a lifetime. When you are doing these small things often, you are being consistent and intentional to integrate these skills and these principles. You can put your relationship in that master category. When you are not intentional, you are not creating rhythms and rituals together, you're not staying consistent with these principles, you are probably going to find yourself in that disaster category. And so that's a very brief 101 overview of the Gottman Method. We get asked this question all the time in our consultations with couples before we schedule a session of what is it? And this is typically a little bit of our spiel that we give, and then we answer additional questions that come up, but that is the Gottman model. The Gottman Method, it's a type of couples therapy that can be implemented by your couples therapist in the work you do. There's also other couples therapy modalities. This just happens to be the one that spoke best to me. I'm getting trained in imago relationship therapy as well, but there's something about that practicality, the tools, the structure of the Gottman Method that really spoke to me when I started to really dive deeper into supporting couples, and has been a go-to foundation of the work that we do with couples. If you have questions about this, leave them below. We're going to do a part 2 video about the assessment process of the Gottman model, because we utilize it with our couples and we find it incredibly helpful as a therapist, but also to develop that fine-tuned treatment plan for every couple we work with. So stay tuned for video 2.